All right, we are live, guys. All right, obviously, you know you're here for Get Found in AI Search. Kind of coincides with the modern real estate agent growth blueprint that I've been kind of helping you guys put together with the various workshops that I teach. But welcome, thanks for coming. I know it's still relatively busy. It's summer. It's not nice out, so I guess you don't have that excuse today. But today we're going to be diving into a crucial topic for modern real estate agents, in my opinion, getting found in AI search. So this is part, like I said, of my growth blueprint designed specifically for you guys. Now, why is this important today? In today's digital age, visibility on AI-driven platforms can significantly boost your business. I've personally seen that, and I'm going to help you guys get to that same level or surpass me in terms of finding people online that are looking for you. You don't know how to be found quite yet. So it's not just about being online, but ultimately being seen by the right people at the right time. So as we explore this topic, I want you guys to think about how AI search can enhance your visibility and connect you with potential clients more effectively. So this is your opportunity to leverage technology for growth. So you guys ready to get started? Let's roll. All right, my name is Mike Del Preto, in case you didn't know that. I'm an SVP of mortgage lending here at A&N Mortgage. Also consider myself an agent coach. I've been doing these workshops for a little over 4 years now. That's kind of the coaching piece. And then obviously on a one-on-one basis with all my partners. But my guiding principle has always been to treat others like I'd like to be treated. With that guiding principle in mind, for my 21 years now in the business, I've always focused on education and communication for both my clients as well as my agent partners. So for those of you guys that are new here, you might be thinking, why is a lender hosting this kind of a workshop? You guys can all see the image of the lighthouse, right? So does anybody know what the main purpose of a lighthouse is? Anybody? So it's
For ships.
for ships. What'd you say? Bullshit? What'd you say?
Yeah, I said bullshit. No, I said for
Oh,
ships.
I thought you said they're bullshit. I was like, what? I was like, Maggie coming in
No.
hot this morning. Perfect. It's actually, yeah, it is for ships, yes, but it's to help guide, and that's obviously maybe well, I shouldn't say antiquated because people are still at sea, and this is still the best form of fleet to safety. But it's to help you guys get the ships safely get to their way and help navigate their destination. So a lighthouse has also come to be viewed as a symbol of hope and security, in that storm. In today's world of AI, I think it's easy to feel lost. Personally, someone who tries staying up with it, I still feel like I'm behind the times, and I obviously am teaching a workshop and stay ahead of this stuff. So there are plenty of mortgage vendors out there that offer products and price, but there aren't that many, in my opinion, that are actually partners. So my goal is simply to help you guys navigate your way and learning how to use AI for your business and provide hope and safe passage. So maybe today is the start of a potential partnership. We don't yet work together, or if we already are partners, think of this as a thank you for your trust and partnership. But regardless, I hope here that I shed some light and help you guys get a proper guide and a way to success with AI. All right, let's get started here. What are we going to cover? We're going to talk about what is AI search and why does it matter, how to train AI to recommend you as your market's go-to expert, where to post content for maximum results. That's obviously an important one. And then last but not least, I'm going to give you the AI content systems that puts it all together and gives you guys a true action plan for what you're looking to do here. Hey, Lisa, thanks for joining. All right, so this is for you if you guys want to remain relevant in a changing real estate market and changing world, expand your influence and grow your business, and you're willing to ultimately do the work. So I'm going to encourage you guys a little bit more than maybe past workshops. I don't know how many of you talked to some after, but take what I give you guys here in these workshops and actually put the pen to paper. For those that do and report back, I'm seeing amazing results. But I know just in general, not picking anybody here personally, it's very, very common to take the initiative to join something like this and then go back to our busy lives and not implement anything. One thing I'm going to talk about here with AI is you can do less work and get more of the results. And I'm strongly emphasizing, do the work. Don't let this sit. Don't wait till next week, whatever. You're going to get busy. You're going to have fun and you're going to forget about it. Put yourself in the driver's seat here and you're going to lap your competition if you guys, follow my lead on this. So who's willing to do work? Everybody, hopefully here. All right. So what are the top market challenges that we currently see? Anybody want to throw some out there? Things you guys are getting challenges with, whether it's getting new clients, winning offers, anybody? Chat's open too.
Inventory volume.
Inventory volume. I think everybody here is in the Chicago market for the most part. Yeah, inventory is definitely an issue. Multiple offers, buyer demand is surpassing obviously inventory, which is great to be a seller, but not great to be a buyer. All right. So what can we control? Let's talk about that first. And this has been a pain point, I think, probably since the car slash NAR stuff came out with broker comp and things like that, just kind of pushing people around that out of their comfort zone. But we can control our mindset, right? Talk about that a lot in a lot of these workshops and coaching in general. You can control your mindset. You can get up every day, know what the expectations look like. You can control your skill sets, and then you can also control your actions. Kind of what I just said earlier about taking initiative and putting the work in. So it's not about survival of the fittest. It's about the adaptability to the current environment. Do you guys agree with that? It's just a matter of adjusting and being agile. And those that have been doing it for as long as I have, we've seen the Great Recession, we've seen COVID, a lot of changes. It's a different market now than both of those, but you got to be able to adjust. And now we've got a real kind of opportunity slash pain point that is AI, in my opinion. That's going to change the shape of the world and our industry very much so, as it already has and will likely more so. And there's different debates on how much it will change, but I think in general it's going to change the landscape. And a lot of consumers are starting with AI, which is why we're all here to talk about it. So, what is the definition of adaptability? So that the ability to adjust your emotions, thoughts, and behaviors to changing situations and conditions, being able to rapidly learn new skills in response to changing circumstances. Pretty safe to say that's the market that I think we're in. Maybe not the same for people that are not in the Chicagoland market, but we are spoiled here in a good way, in my opinion, because there's not a lot of houses and there's a lot of buyers, and it's a appreciating market versus, say, Florida, where you've got 20 houses for sale and maybe one buyer, which is not a great market to be in my opinion. So again, you guys showed up today. That tells me that you're willing to learn the new skills required to succeed, right? Which is awesome. You guys are my people. Let's rock and roll. Hey, Trace. All right, so consumer behavior has changed. The question is, have you? So this is the crucial question. Are we still nostalgic about the past? Are we embracing change and adapting? So my job again today is to help you guys adapt and learn the new skills so you can stay relevant and ultimately win in this market. So what if I told you that your next client is not Googling you? Instead, they're asking AI, and it looks like that's not anime. It's supposed to be a little funnier than that. But yeah, the guy's supposed to be crying. He's not. So we'll keep scrolling here. I think it's a bandwidth thing. There we go. All right. So AI is part of the home buying process. If you saw the thing I threw up on Instagram to promote this, 38% use AI to find listings in their preferred areas. 40% of prospective buyers interact with AI at least once a day. And 32% use AI to estimate payments or check affordability. Those are some pretty decent numbers. AI is not necessarily new right now. It's becoming more mainstream, but those numbers are rising by the second. A recent survey, early 2026, by Realtor.com showed that they surveyed 1,000 people. All respondents are currently interested in buying or selling their primary residence or have done so within the past 2 years. Of those, 82% use AI for real estate and housing information. 82%. So 800 plus people out of 1,000 used AI in some way, shape, or form because they were thinking about buying or selling their place in the last 2 years. That's a staggering number. And it's rising. So AI is now the digital front door for many prospective buyers and sellers. It's becoming the first impression people have when they begin their search for a new home. Think of it as the new way people enter the housing market. How many of you guys are already using AI for search in your own personal lives? Maybe not necessarily in your business, but anybody going to ChatGPT versus Google these days, or Gemini instead of Google, which for those who don't know, Gemini was created by Google.
Always. I always use it.
Nice. I think a lot of people probably have too. They're just driving or being shy or muted or whatever. So yeah, I do as well. I like to compare what Google says to the AI and kind of distill it from there. Like anything, for those that are newer to AI, double check everything, proofread it. AI can make a lot of mistakes still. It can be really great too, but it can definitely make mistakes.
Well, but even the Google homepage now is Gemini, right? Like standard search.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the first thing that pops up in a Google search is the AI recommendations.
And that was Google's response to losing a lot of users over on ChatGPT. Probably 12 months ago, Gemini was probably like the fourth or fifth best AI, and now they're right up there with Anthropic, which is Claude. It's actually not ChatGPT. They might have the most users, but Gemini and Claude are considered better platforms by the majority, and that's a moving target. So there's been a lot of a conversation, a debate this week about AI. I won't go into that stuff, but the CEO of Anthropic, which created Claude, was saying like, hey, maybe we should all just pause. This is getting too crazy. Well, easy for the CEO of the top AI platform currently to say, let's pause because they are number one. So if AI is the new gatekeeper, how do you get through the front door? That's why we're here. Let's figure this out together. So you have to teach AI to trust you. So it's all about building a relationship of trust with these AI systems. So we've talked about how buyers are turning to AI, right? But the question is, what makes AI decide who gets mentioned? How do you become the voice that it trusts? So there's a new skill set that answers that. It's not SEO. Some of you guys might have heard of this. It's something actually newer and smarter. And honestly, it's a little, way more human in my opinion. For those that don't know, SEO is search engine optimization. So that's, how Google finds you or ranks you, the old school way, if you will. It's still something that is relevant, but for those that are on AI and not in, say, Google, you got to technically do both. But this is called GEO. So GEO stands for Generative Engine Optimization, and it's about to change how you show up. So just like SEO helps you rank on Google, GEO helps you rank inside the actual answers that AI gives when people ask questions. So if someone says, let's just say, what's the best way to build credit for a mortgage? And I've been teaching on that for months, AI should be pulling that content into the answer. And GEO is how you make that happen by design. Bottom line, if SEO helps you rank in Google, GEO helps you rank in AI generated conversations. Does that make sense? All right, so AI doesn't rank content like Google. Instead, it doesn't care about backlinks and traffic, but it does care about the quality of the answer. So to show up in AI generated responses, your content needs four things. First, it needs clarity. So it needs to be clear and easy to understand. If AI has to guess what you're saying, it won't use it. Also has to have some depth. So AI favors content that teaches deeply and not just surface level tips, which I think is from a social media standpoint, a lot of people do surface level stuff, but they want you to go deeper here, which we'll talk about that. Also recency. How recent did you put that up there? Especially, with tools like Perplexity or Bing, AI prefers content from the last 30 to 90 days. And then last, we got authority. This is where repeatability and visibility come in. If your content is cited, linked to, and properly formatted, AI is more likely to reference it. So think of AI as a student. If your content teaches well, it gets remembered and it gets repeated. You guys with me on this? Does it make sense? All right, why does this matter? First, a remarkable 79% of Gen Z prefer using AI over traditional search engines. This generation values efficiency and clarity, traits that AI excels at delivering. AI also summarizes information without listing numerous links, streamlining the search process significantly. It's a great aggregator, a great way to kind of pull all the data in and put it into what it thinks is the most applicable for those that don't use AI on a regular basis from a search standpoint. So now here's the key takeaway for you guys. Whoever effectively trains the AI can own the lead. This means you could become the go-to source for AI responses. I'm pretty sure all of us want that, right? So think of the potential impact on your business or personal brand by appearing at the top of AI generated answers. You position yourself as a leader in your field. You guys starting to kind of grasp the impact of what we're diving into here and how kind of monumental this can be?
Absolutely.
Nice. Thanks, Trace. So here's an example of a GEO-based AI chat. So the buyer uses the use case here with ChatGPT. The prompt is, I'm a first-time buyer. The first-time buyer types into ChatGPT, I'm thinking about buying a home in Concord, California. Obviously, it could be anywhere. Is it a good place to live? What's the market like right now? That's a natural language prompt. So it's exactly the kind of phrase home buyers use. It's conversational, includes their location, like Concord, California, the intent, which is thinking about buying, their questions, livability, and market info. Let's take a look and see what they got in the response. So sure, here's an overview of Concord, California as a place to buy a home. Concord is a mid-sized city in the East Bay area of Northern California, about 30 miles from San Francisco. It's known for more affordable housing compared to nearby cities like Walnut Creek and Pleasant Hill. The area offers access to outdoor activities like hiking at Mount Diablo, good schools, and BART connectivity for commuters. Real estate market, home price is around 725. Market trend has about stabilized after cooling period in 2023, 2024. Inventory is slightly up, giving buyers more negotiating power. And obviously, you can see the rest there. There's some pros. It's more affordable than the Bay Area. It's family friendly, easy access to the highway. Some cons, there's some traffic congestion, some older neighborhoods that need revitalization. So pretty comprehensive. And again, it's pulling from a bunch of different sources there. Can get a buyer very quickly up to speed as to what Concord, California looks like. So the user then asks, can you recommend a local real estate agent who knows Concord well? For Concord, California, you might consider Ramon Canon with Keller Williams. He's helped 200 plus clients in the area and is highly recommended or highly rated. Glenn and Tiffany Allen from Compass also have an excellent reputation in Clayton and Martinez. So then the AI makes recommendations. As you can see here, you guys follow along here. It's pretty powerful, right? It went straight from what's Concord look like to who should I work with in Concord, which obviously from a Google standpoint, they'd be saying, hey, who's a good agent in Concord, California? And it would give you the top 3 or the 3-pack, and they're going to call those people, and that's who they're going to work with. We'll talk more about that in a little bit here as it kind of overlaps with what we're talking about.
Can I interject something quick?
Yes.
On the previous slide, I was noticing something that I just saw a reel about recently, or I can't remember where it was, but there's a lot of fair housing violations coming out of AI because it doesn't know the rules necessarily, or it's just spitting out what it searches for. That your last slide mentioned that Concord being family friendly, which I don't think we can say. I think it's a fair housing violation. And just while we're on the topic, when you're using AI, be really careful.
Did you see anything where people are getting actually like in a bad spot, or I guess what are the repercussions on that?
The agent that was talking about it referenced someone being fined because they just copy and pasted what they got from an AI.
Oh,
result.
The agent was pulling from AI and using that. I gotcha.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, I mean, obviously, all the same rules and regulations you guys are bound to. You still have to follow those. You can't just say, "Oh, I took it from AI." AI can't get in trouble necessarily. Well, it'd be interesting.
No.
I mean, I guess you could. Yeah, I don't know how. I mean, in the future, maybe it's going to be a association, whether it's car or NAR or something like that, where they put some guide rails in place. I mean, you guys probably know this. ChatGPT now has a Zillow plugin, which I guess Zillow as a brokerage could get in trouble if they're using ChatGPT and saying some fair housing stuff. But yeah, it's a really good point. And like I said earlier, always triple check everything from AI because it can say a lot of things that if you copy and paste, that is what you're copying and pasting is your brand, regardless of where you got it from, as you guys know. So, but yeah, thanks for mentioning that, Jeremy. And again, guys, for those that jumped on late, this is all intended for you guys. I like to think of these as a workshop, but also a mastermind. You guys can obviously talk different languages than I can talk when as it pertains to being a real estate agent, me being a mortgage lender. This is all intended to help the masses, help as many of you guys as possible. And that's where you guys can jump in. So thank you, Jeremy. And also the chat's open too. Oh, I saw Lisa. Did you use AI to make the slide? No, this actually, none of this was AI generated, these slides. Great question. No, I could have done that, but no, these were not AI generated. Who here uses Perplexity? Anybody? It's one of the less mentioned ones, in my opinion. So similar to Perplexity, or similar to ChatGPT, Perplexity is talking about kind of the same thing here, mentioning Renee White team, Keller Williams, Alex Kodadad, Rick Fueller. So kind of some of the same stuff there as it pertains to Concord, California for this situation. Perplexity is telling it's more of a kind of science research-based platform. So it's mentioning Yelp, Fast Expert, Clever Real Estate, fastexpert.com. Those are the sources that it's pulling that information from. It's kind of the same prompt as before, slightly different results, just so you can see that. All right, so here's a real-world example of how agents are getting deals from AI right now. So Realtor Tammy Price shared her story at a recent Tom Ferry event. So my last 4 buyer clients came to me after ChatGPT recommended me. 1 closed today, 2 under contract, and 1 scheduled to meet when I return from Summit. I also have a listing opportunity where chat recommended me as an agent familiar with VA loan assumptions. So I got curious and wanted to ask, AI why Tammy Price is being recommended, and here's what it told me. First, Tammy has carved out a niche expertise, particularly in VA and military relocations. This means her content matches buyers' exact search intentions, providing real value. Next, let's talk about her indexable content. Tammy leverages long-form YouTube videos and Google Index blogs. These platforms answer the real questions that buyers are asking, which is which is a key to engagement ultimately. And AI does scan videos and understand kind of what's going on there. So don't think that it's just text or print. Tammy's authority footprint is evident through her comprehensive profiles on major real estate sites like Zillow, Realtor.com, Homes.com, among others. And her profiles are not just present, but fully built out, reflecting her credibility and expertise. Additionally, her strong Google business profile is a cornerstone of her online presence. It's rich with recent reviews, keyword-rich posts, and accurate service areas, and she's actively engaging in Q&A. Does this make sense, guys? She's kind of hitting it from all angles. One thing that I went somewhat quickly over, she has all of her profiles on these various third-party real estate sites like a Zillow, like a Redfin, et cetera, properly built out, similar branding, similar verbiage in line with what her niche is and what she focuses on. And AI is seeing that, and as a result, is bringing her to the top because it sees consistency. This is perfectly in line with what I've taught on for the Google Business Profile workshop, which I'll touch on at the end here. You want to be consistent across the internet. All these bots, they see everything. It might not be in the first page. It might be, second, third page of a random real estate website. But if you have a profile on something, it needs to be optimized with your accurate information that lines up with all your other profiles. If you're not sure what where your information's at, just Google yourself or ask different AI platforms. Hey, I'm trying to find myself online. Can you look at all my profiles and all websites and let me know if there's any that are not consistent with the others? And it'll try and pull that up. So let the technology help you. Any questions on that? Nope. Second here. So there. All right. So remember, AI doesn't rank; it recommends. Big difference with what we're used to versus what the change is happening. In 2026, most early housing questions will be answered by an AI layer sitting on top of Google and the portals. Just like Daryl mentioned, when you go to Google and type something in, what's the very first response? It's AI generated. It's taking all the information that Google finds and putting in a recommendation versus like a list of things there. So imagine a layer, like I just explained, of AI seamlessly operating on top of platforms like Google and real estate portals. And again, real estate portals being the kind of hidden one here that people don't think about. So now here's why this is significant. AI will provide instant, reliable answers to those early questions that we all have about finding a home. So this means less time searching and more time making informed decisions. So consider how this can actually empower us, whether you're a home buyer, a seller, or an agent. It shifts the focus from just finding listings to truly understanding the market. In essence, AI will help enhance our ability to engage with the housing market intelligently and efficiently. So remember this is early stage consumer engagement. They still need us to be their trusted guide, but they're getting their feet wet. They're getting some answers. They're maybe getting a little less scared to talk to a real estate or mortgage professional by going to ChatGPT, et cetera, to get some answers and kind of get an idea of where they're at. So you guys with me? Make sense? All right, so let's talk about why this matters. First, you want to consider your blog post, in this situation, is Chicago a good place to live? It's a local agent's perspective, and it can be cited. Very, very self-explanatory and straightforward. This piece can serve as a valuable resource for AI as it offers insights and firsthand perspectives that add depth to the AI's recommendations. Next, you should think about your Google reviews. So reviews are not just testimonials. They're pieces of evidence that the AI can then use to gauge your expertise and your reliability. Super important. And then there's your recent market update video. Videos are powerful. They convey emotion, authority, and immediacy. When AI references your video, it enhances your online authority, demonstrating to the potential clients that you're active, knowledgeable, and engaged. So why does this all matter? It's simple. AI is becoming a trusted advisor in real estate, whether you like it or not. By ensuring that your content is visible and relevant, you're not just staying ahead of the curve, you're shaping the future of the industry, ultimately, in my opinion. So you want to make sure that your content is readily available and up to date. So when AI looks for answers, it finds you. All right. When someone asks, is now a good time to buy in Chicago? AI will consider three main sources of information. First, the portals that we just talked about. So Zillow, Realtor.com provide hard data and listings. These are crucial for understanding the broader market trends. Second, AI looks at local web pages and Google business profiles. This is where your local authority and expertise come into play, and your presence here can significantly influence AI's assessment and the responses. And then finally, there's the user-generated content, things like YouTube, Reddit, Instagram. These sources reveal sentiment, local vibe, and hyper-local questions and answers. They're invaluable for capturing the local area pulse and concerns. So remember, by enhancing your visibility across these channels, you can shape the conversation and potentially guide homebuyers in your area. Guys, is this helpful so far? It's news to you guys. You guys already knew this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice, nice, nice. I was going to say a lot of this stuff, I think, common sense, like, oh yeah, well, it makes sense. It looks at these third-party sites, looks at, what's happening on your Google profile, looks at Reddit, Instagram, et cetera. I think all of you guys, or hopefully all of you guys are doing some of this a little bit already. What I'm trying to do here with this workshop is kind of distill that down so that you guys have direct action items that kind of coincide with each other. So you don't feel like a chicken with your head cut off. And you can also put eggs in the right baskets and not like some of you guys might be, doing amazing things on Instagram. That's one leg of the stool. That's one piece of this puzzle. You're not going to get noticed just from your Instagram in AI. You'll get noticed on Instagram, of course, but we're trying to get you noticed in AI where people are starting. They might not ever make it to Instagram to see your amazing content if they're starting with AI. So just to think about it in that kind of lens, I think is helpful. So now like I just said, where do you post content for AI visibility? First, Google Business Profile. This platform is pivotal because AI directly pulls information from updates that you post there. So keeping it current and relevant is definitely vital. Let's talk about YouTube. I know this is one that's a little scary for a lot of people, but it's where next-gen buyers often turn first for their home buying questions. That means having content there is essential to catching their attention and answering their inquiries. Next up is your website. So to maximize your visibility, you want to make sure that your website is indexed on Google. By the way, you can check that your index just by going to like a Google search, typing in site, just like you see, just how it shows. That's not a typo. Just type in site and your web address. And if it shows up right away as like the first website, Google has it indexed. There's a very good chance it's indexed, but some people they don't really put a lot of time into this and they're not found by Google. So, but by focusing on these tier one platforms, you're setting a solid foundation for AI to recognize your expertise and keep you guys at the forefront of potential buyer minds. All right, so what do we post on your website? The key here is to focus on creating content that speaks directly to the needs and the questions of your audience. Not a marketing workshop, but you want to kind of niche down on this stuff. What are you focusing on that makes you unique? If you market to everybody, you market to nobody. I think you guys have all probably heard that before. So that goes into you just thinking about what's your brand, who are you helping most? Are you helping a lot of first-time buyers, move up sellers, that kind of thing? That's what you want to think about, and then put a lot of content around that, which I'll talk about in a second here. But start with your local market pages. These can give you an overview of the real estate trends in specific areas, which are crucial for prospective buyers who are doing their research. Next, you want to think about zip code and neighborhood pages. These not only provide detailed insights into specific areas, but they also help your site rank better in the local searches. And don't forget about Q&A pages. These pages should address common questions like, is now a good time to buy in, say, Chicago? And then last, blog posts with clear, concise answers are invaluable. They not only improve your site's SEO, but also establish your authority in the market. You can do those as a combination. I taught the last one was database marketing. We talked about using Claude to kind of use a newsletter to multiply your efforts. But you can use AI to write a majority of what we're talking about, and then make sure you tweak it and make it sound like it's from you. I like Claude a lot for writing because it sounds a little more human than, say, ChatGPT. I think a lot of people nowadays know what's AI generated and what's not. So, but in a moment, I'll show you guys how to use AI to help, again, write some of this content. All right, now where to post this content for AI visibility. Real estate portals, like I said, Zillow, Realtor.com, and Homes.com. These platforms are crucial not only because of their wide reach, but also because they act as verification and trust and credibility proof for the AI search engines. Like I mentioned, they've got to be consistent. Now, AI search engines are constantly seek reliable sources to present to users, and these platforms provide that assurance for them since they are so big and developed. Remember, these sites are not just about listing properties. They are about creating a trustworthy presence online. All of your stuff should match. It should be, somewhat recently updated. It shouldn't be, your 20-year-old headshot with a bio that you wrote in, 1995. You've been doing this for a while. It should be 2026, maybe worst case 2025 if it's still the same stuff. But this is where your prospective buyers will see your expertise and reliability reflected. So again, if you need to, it's time to update your profiles. So here are the top portals and review citation sources that AI search frequently draws from. You got Google Business Profile that I mentioned, Zillow, Realtor.com, HomeLight, Yelp, Fast Expert, Homes.com could be on there, and RateMyAgent.com. Being present and optimized on these portals helps you guys show up as cited experts, not just someone out there. Location can dramatically change which portals matter most. Some metro areas are Zillow dominant, while others are more Realtor.com dominant. I'm sure anybody on this call that does some form of online leads has seen the difference with, say, Zillow versus Realtor in certain markets. Realtor kind of gets a little bit of a bad rap in Chicago, but it's a really good option in some smaller markets and some suburbs, and from what I've seen. I mean, obviously, it depends on the follow-up and the agent themselves, but and like I mentioned earlier, so of course, Zillow has recently launched ChatGPT integration, so its content may appear more often in AI responses because it's kind of all commingled. The point is to have a current profile across multiple citation sites. It's important. Long story short, you guys with me on this?
Yeah, so I think in the past I'm sure other people have felt the same way. I haven't created a profile on whatever Fast Expert or something I think I have there, but because I don't plan on keeping it updated. But now is the point. You want to have the bio and profile photo and contact information and all that on these, whether or not you keep it updated. I mean, you don't put reviews on there or things like that, right? It's still worth doing it.
Yeah, great question. So there's not an exact, nobody really knows the exact number of like how many profiles you should have on these third-party sites. I think you should definitely have some. To your point, Jeremy, I would probably stay away. Like if you're not on Yelp already, I probably wouldn't get on Yelp because you're going to have no reviews, and people might look at
Right.
that as like, oh,
That's what I'm wondering.
Jeremy's a rookie. Versus, and Zillow's similar but different. But I think having a Zillow profile, even if you don't have a lot of reviews, is still fine. But yeah, if you're on a site and you have a profile, it should definitely be optimized and up to date with your information. And if you're not on any of these websites, then I would pick a handful that you think maybe your clients have mentioned, hey, I was on so-and-so site and was looking at places. If you're hearing a lot of that, then go create a profile, in my opinion. So you have some there. The internet AI, they want to see that you're in a lot of places, and that's what's going to build credibility. You can put a lot of eggs into a few baskets, but you should have a lot of different baskets in some capacity, if that makes sense. And you also too, like anything, ask AI what's the best course of action. Scour the internet, look at my profiles. Which ones am I doing well? Which ones do you think are an absolute must for a home buyer to find me if they're searching, if they're searching for an agent, from you, Mr. ChatGPT, whatever, in Chicago, and see what they tell you. So here are the tier 2 platforms that have strong influence. First, we've got LinkedIn. I think people sleep on that, myself included. But AI systems may rely on LinkedIn for extracting professional expertise. So it's crucial to keep your profiles and posts current, as they contribute significantly to your online credibility. One thought too, I just popped in my head based on what you just said, Jeremy. You should be on all the major social media platforms in some way, shape, or form. I think personally, if I'm a consumer, if I'm a buyer and I'm searching for, say, Jeremy, and he's not on Instagram or any social media, and I'm 30 years old, I'm like, well, that's kind of weird. Or has no Google profile. That's a lot of agents out there. I think if you're not doing the bare minimum, and those to me are the bare minimum for an agent in 2026, whether you've been doing this for 2 days or 20 years, to have some sort of a profile for people to see. And I'm going to show you something at the end here about your Google business profile. I put a lot of time and effort into mine. I get a good amount of, probably close 30% of my clients come from Google. And I don't hold yourself to the same standard as me. I've been doing this for 21 years and been at the Google thing for 15 years before everybody else was. And I've got a lot of reviews because of it. So that's a whole other conversation we can have. I'll offer that up at the end here for me to help you guys get more reviews. One tidbit there, one pro tip: do not say the word review to a client. Hey, would you mind to share your story? Would you want to share your experience with the online world? If you say, can you give me a review? All they hear is selfless plug for you helping them or for them helping you. And that's all you're asking versus, hey, I want to give you an opportunity to share your experience. That's going to probably be better, more well received. People like talking about themselves, and you want them to write a few sentences with keywords in there. If you give a review, it's just clicking a 5-star button, in my opinion. If you share your experience, share your story, that's 3, 4, 5 sentences, 2 paragraphs, and that's going to help you out a lot in the Google business profile department. So something to think about there. So Let's talk about Instagram next. So AI utilizes Instagram for gauging consumer sentiment, understanding buyer questions, and accessing local commentary. Keeping your Instagram active and relevant is essential for maintaining visibility with AI systems. By focusing on these tier 2 platforms, we can effectively enhance our visibility and establish ourselves as trustworthy and knowledgeable professionals in the eyes of AI. Like I mentioned a little bit ago, you might be doing some of these really well already. Try and complete the pie or the cake, whatever you want to call it, all legs of the stool, whatever analogy you want to use to do a little bit of all this stuff. So who here is familiar with Reddit? Who here actually uses Reddit for their own personal use? Anybody?
I do.
You guys all know what it is. So Reddit is a giant online forum where people ask questions, they share opinions, and they talk about their real life experiences and every topic that you could possibly imagine. So why does this matter for real estate? It's where buyers and sellers openly share their fears, their confusion, their frustrations, neighborhood opinions, questions they're too embarrassed to ask an agent. It's the internet's truth serum. It's kind of how I think about it. Elisa says that her clients do. Yes. Yeah. So on this slide, we're focused on an essential strategy, listening to Reddit rather than posting on it. So this platform is a treasure trove of buyer and seller concerns, and it's crucial to tune into what's being asked. So some things to think about here, use Google search, moving to Chicago in Reddit, living in Chicago on Reddit, first-time home buyer Reddit. Is it a good time to buy Reddit? All of that stuff's going to bring them to Reddit ultimately. And again, you don't have to post on there. What I'm telling you to do is go on there and see what people are saying, because they're going to be the most honest on Reddit than they are on other platforms, because Reddit's anonymous. So, and if you can, I'm still trying to figure out how to crack the code on this, because I'm a 43 going on 60 with some of this stuff. I've had people recommend me on Reddit, and I've had people find me or reach out to me saying, "Hey, I want to work with you, etc. Do you have time? Do you have time to?" Literally, they said, "Do you have time to work with me?" And I'm like, "That's weird." I'm like, "Oh, how'd you find me?" Like, "Oh, I saw you on Reddit. You must be super busy because somebody recommended you." So I've had past clients reply to other people's questions saying, "Hey, Mike Del Preto's a great lender." If you have clients that are active on Reddit and you talk to them and it comes up, say, "Do me a huge favor. Do you mind, throw my name on there as a trusted resource in Lincoln Park, in Bucktown, or whatever?" You will definitely see a lot of traction from that. I also know some people that have had other agents comment on their behalf, like saying, "Hey, Tracy Bushko's a great agent in Lombard," something like that. Little deceitful. You can go walk the line there if you want to, but I've had people do that, artificially versus genuinely and organically, I should say, and it does work too. So keep
So
that.
I've never
Good.
been on it, but I'm saying if it's anonymous, Mike, then why wouldn't we just put our own names on there?
Because you're going to want to answer. I mean, you could. I mean, I think you're just walking a line. If Reddit will flag that sometimes, if they find that out. So I don't know how they'll find it out, but they've got one of my clients was a higher up at Reddit, and he's like, "We have very good ways of figuring out who's doing what on there. It's anonymous, yes, but we are watching." And I'm like, "Okay, that makes sense." So take that for whatever it's worth. I need to get more on Reddit, but like all of us, there's only so much time in the day, and we're talking about a lot of different platforms and things here. So, but ultimately, what I'm saying here with Reddit is, focus on, and this could be like, "Hey, I'm Mike. I don't know what my niche is. I don't know what to talk about or what to say." You all do. You just don't. It's in there. You just got to pull it out of yourselves. Think of client conversations. Think about problems you're having. But with Reddit, I want you to focus on picking one relevant fear or misconception. And this is where you can provide real value. Find something that resonates with you. Maybe what you're reading is something, a problem you've recently solved or fixed for somebody. But in doing so, create a single piece of content that directly addresses this issue. What you want to do is publish your content on your tier 1 platforms. This is where your expertise can really shine and be recognized by by AI systems. So by following this routine, you'll not only provide valuable content, but you'll also position yourself as an expert in your field. Is this helpful, guys? Anybody going to do this? What we're talking about right now?
I'm actually doing it right now. Thanks.
Nice.
Is it helpful for us as agents on Reddit to be posting questions or posing questions on Reddit, or more just using it like replying to questions on Reddit?
I think both. I think any involvement on Reddit, and again, this is probably I'm the least market expert or topic expert in terms of Reddit with everything we're talking about here. I've just seen my own success with a couple people mentioning me. I talked to a 25 or 26-year-old client of mine that closed and was like, "Hey, are you on Reddit much? Do you mind, putting in a good word for me?" Because like he was literally asking like anywhere and everywhere I can put your name out there. I really appreciate what you did, And I was like, "Well, Google for sure. I'll send you some links. That's all part of my process. But I don't know how to get more exposure on Reddit. If you can crack that code and let me know as a 20 something, that'd be super helpful." And he wasn't that active on it, but and never reported back. But that was my attempt at having somebody put something on there, Daryl. So yeah, I think any of this stuff, if you just get more involved and pull from it what you can, there's value there. It's ever changing and changing quickly. Like what we talk about today or 6 months ago is going to be different than what we'll talk about 6 months from now. So you got to continue to try this stuff and kind of fail forward, if you will, and you'll find some traction and just kind of lean into it. If you start seeing something's working, keep doing more and more of it till it doesn't work anymore, right?
I might have missed this, but do the comments on like Reddit need to come from like a business profile on Reddit?
No, so Reddit's completely anonymous. They do offer. This is where I wanted to circle back. I just haven't had a chance. They do offer the ability to advertise on Reddit as a business, I believe, but I'm not sure how that all works. If it's just like banner ads. Great question, Tyler. But yeah, I'm not sure. Like if you're answering a question as a professional, that's like for those that don't know, Tyler's a great insurance agent with State Farm. If he's answering an insurance question, it would make sense to like say, "Hey, I'm an insurance agent, and here's my 2 cents," versus I'm just some random person giving insurance advice. So I'm not sure. Again, I read it. I need to get more well versed in, but I do know I've got a couple of coworkers or loan originators I work with that have had a client or two mention them on Reddit, and they've closed like 9 clients from Reddit now because of that one post, that one comment, and people calling them. People really, really, really. I would say people trust Reddit more than they trust AI and Google recommendations because it's coming from other consumers. And I think people think that like I've had 360 something Google reviews. They're like, how many I've had clients ask me, like, they find me on Google, they reach out to me, we have a conversation, a Zoom call, whatever. And they go, "How many of your reviews did you buy?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" They're like, "Well, those can't all be real." I'm like, "What do you mean?" They're like, "There's got to be some that you just bought them." I'm like, no. So people think that, even though the person reached out to me, wanted to work with me, they still think that I don't have genuinely 360, 5-star reviews. I'm like, I've been doing this for a long time. I'm a lot older than I look. So it's 21 years is enough time to accumulate a lot of reviews. Versus Reddit being, very much organic.
So yeah, I think to add to that, Reddit, I think is something people use for very specific hyper local information
Yeah.
too, or like very current, like what is happening right now. Like literally, for example, as a user, I've used Reddit to be like, how long will the wait be at this restaurant that doesn't take reservations? And see what
Yeah.
posts on that are recent.
Yeah. I think of it as social media without a profile. And so
Yeah.
you're going to get, with social media, obviously people,
But I think it's less curated than what social media would be. So it does have
yes,
people feel like they're getting more honest, reliable information.
exactly. Yeah. Because there aren't profiles and nobody has an identity, it's not going to be curated with algorithms and things like that. Yeah. I 100% agree. Yeah.
I would also plug Bigger Pockets. I've heard a lot of agents and loan officers just participating in discussions on Bigger Pockets and actually getting business out of it, which is kind of like Reddit, but specific to real estate.
So Bigger Pockets has like a Reddit type platform. I'm not from, I know of Bigger Pockets.
Or a podcast, a blog, a full news site.
So I
But
know about the podcast and the blog, but you can have a profile and like interact with people on Bigger
oh yeah,
Pockets?
there's a full-on forum with like investors and industry professionals that
Oh, okay.
are on there talking, asking questions, sharing information.
How saturated is the professional I guess users on Bigger Pocket?
It's very little. That's why I
Really?
feel like people that participate get a lot out of it. Um, and it's obviously like a mix of investors, both seasoned and starter investors and first-time buyers, that kind of thing.
That's great. Yeah. Yeah, if there's
It's
not,
more geared towards the investment community in general, even starters.
Well, Cecil, there's 3,416 agents on this Zoom right now, so you just ruined the Bigger Pocket secret. They're all going to be on there before you know it. But thank you for sharing. I
That's what it's
appreciate it.
all about. Yeah,
I
no
appreciate
problem.
it. So you guys mastermind, you just picked up a little tidbit from Cecil there to get on Bigger Pockets. I didn't know that was there was a forum there, and there's I do have a lot of my like, more novice first time buyers. They're like, oh, I heard this on Bigger Pockets. So a lot of people are definitely listening to it. I know it has, especially with multi-unit buyers, they're all about that stuff. So it's yeah, if you can pick up buyers that way or sellers that way, it's a great option. Thank you, Cecil. All right. So if you want to be recommended by AI search, that your content has to live where the AI is listening. Obvious, right? So let's talk about now the AI search content system. So you want to think about first the number one here, the ask. You want to listen to the questions that your audience is already asking, kind of going back to what we just talked about with Reddit. Answer. So you want to create content that answers in the way AI understands. 3, you want to post. So repurpose the answer across platforms where AI listens. And then the last one, multiply. As your content gets seen, you begin to appear in AI outputs. So this is the AI search content system that I mentioned earlier. It's a methodical approach to ensuring your content is not just seen, but becomes the resource AI pulls from. Like I mentioned a couple of times now, you guys are probably doing a handful of these things already. We're going to kind of tie this all together and make it more purposeful. So you're speaking more of the GEO language that might be a little more foreign or new to you. So like I said, is Reddit helpful for first-time homebuyers or just confusing? No, I think yeah, I think definitely for anybody. A lot of first-time buyers start there because they're asking, like they're worried about us real estate professionals being sharks. So if I talk to a lender, I'm going to have to get pre-approved and have to buy a house I don't want to buy. That's the misconception they have. If I talk to a real estate agent, they're going to sell me a house that I don't want to buy because they're so smooth and all that kind of, that kind of stuff. These are the general misconceptions people have about our industry. And so before they, go to the lion's den, they're going to ultimately ask their friends on Reddit, random people, what they've experienced and what areas and is a good time to buy. I mean, a lot of people that I talk to are like, oh, I'm a year or two out. I just don't think it's the right time right now. I'm waiting for rates to go down. I'm like, oh, I don't say this, but I'm like, that's not a good idea. It's stupid. Let's talk about why now is a good time to buy and why waiting for rates to go down is going to put you in a worse spot. These misconceptions are what they can get from us, but a lot of times they don't want to talk to us yet because they think we're gonna like trick them. So, and again, the Reddit's really good for that because of the ambiguity of the answers in the community. So, great question. All right, let's. So here's a specifics framework that you guys can apply. And again, I'm going to give you that content system in a minute here, as well as in the follow-up too. So take notes if you want to, but I'm going to give this to you so you can just follow it and read through it. And you're all going to have a little bit different approach to this as your businesses are different. But first, you got your core content. So you want to create one core asset and repurpose it. Then you got YouTube, create a YouTube short and or long form video. Then you're following up with an article / post, blog post or LinkedIn post. Again, this can be AI generated / helpful to get a kind of a head start with that. You've also got email. So take the video and blog and turn it into an email / newsletter. Then your Google business profile. Add the question to your Google business profile. I don't think I mentioned it yet, but on your Google business profile, one thing that you can do. Hey, Nick, thanks for joining, buddy. One thing that you can do is there's a Q&A section. A lot of people don't even pay attention to it. Again, I'm going to offer a one-on-one for optimizing your Google business profile in a little bit here. But that is one thing that most people are not doing, even if they're, in their opinion, optimizing their Google business profile to the fullest. It's one thing that I've only done a little bit of and should do more of. And if I did, I probably would have more business to show for it. So think about all those things. But again, that's kind of the general framework here that we're going to talk about. One piece of content and how that multiplies into multiple outlets. All right, so let's pause and recap before we get into some good stuff at the end here. So let's talk about, or what we talked about was what is AI search and why does it matter? How to train AI to recommend you as your market go-to expert, where to post content for maximum results, and then the gold at the end, the AI content system, which is putting it all together. So again, the final piece being the AI content system. Does anybody feel overwhelmed and thinks this is a little too daunting? Anybody like, oh my gosh, what did I just get myself into here? I'm going to go back to doing what I used to do. It all comes down to ultimately having a system that works for you. That's the long and short of a lot of things I talk about are systems. So that's our final step today. We're going to jump into. So stay with me, not just a little bit longer. It's only been, I guess it's almost been an hour. So thank you for sticking with me in the rain, but help you guys create a system and workflow to make it easier to implement in your business. So guys, ready to see the AI content system? Let's jump into it. So it's designed to elevate your visibility and establish you as an authority in your market. By leveraging this system, you can enhance your ranking through strategic content repurposing. So remember, guys, the goal is to efficiently use AI tools to position yourself as the go-to expert in real estate, right? All right, let's take a look inside. What does this actually mean? So the AI content system includes a complete prompt library. For those that don't know, prompts are what you type into AI to get results. And the prompt is very, very important. AI optimized workflows, a step-by-step guide, and then ready to use templates and more. So this is your playbook to get started with AI content creation, help you rank an AI search, and build your local authority. All you need to do is pick which type of content you want to create. And then from there, you got Google Posts updates and Google Posts and updates, website articles, Instagram posts, YouTube scripts. This playbook will help you guys, will help you train your preferred AI tool on you, your business, your story, and more. It's very comprehensive. It does require work on your part. Who here wants access to this system? Nobody, I assume? Waste of time.
Sign me up.
All right, for those that are driving, I am going to send this to you guys after in a link. But if you scan the QR code, that'll get you what you're looking for. So again, this is your gateway to a world of streamlined and effective content creation, tailor-made for you. So by scanning this, you'll gain access to all the tools and resources that you need to elevate your content strategy. And again, recording. William, you'll get the email. You're registered. Anybody here that did not register? I think everybody did. If you didn't register, you won't be on my list for the follow-up. Leah, do you want to put your email in the chat? I've got Meg's, but I don't have yours. If you want me to get it to you, and Rhonda as well. You can private message me if you don't want all these people to spam you, which they're not going to. I know most people here; they're nice people.
I can't get into chat, so I'll have to just text you or something. I don't know what's wrong with my computer, but it's not allowing me to do anything in chat. User operator error.
Can you click the email I just put in there and pull up an email and you can just reply to it?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. And Leah, if you want, there you go. Oh, okay. I've got the hello one. Perfect. We had somebody on the last workshop, and I thought maybe Leah that it was somebody from your team, but I think it was just a random, and then we never got his email, and so I felt bad because he got on the follow-up stuff, which is probably half the reason to attend. So everybody got the QR code? We're good there. Got a couple more nuggets for you guys for coming. Stay with me here. All right. So like I said, you got to do the work. There's some work ahead of you guys here. The good news is AI will streamline a lot of this. So I want to make sure you guys take this and run with it. Today's a nice rainy day to keep rolling. I'm sure you have busy schedules, but get going on this stuff. Let me know how I can help you. As I say that, I've hinted toward this a couple times. This is a link to my calendar if you want to grab some time. In my opinion, if you don't plan the next steps right now, you're going to do what I often do in these situations, which is get all excited and then don't do anything. So grab some time with me. What we can talk about is anything we've talked about today or random stuff, or more specifically, your Google business profile. So I actually have a custom GPT that can do a digital audit for your Google business profile. I've also, again, put a lot of time and effort into my own Google business profile. I've optimized it. I've taught probably 7, 8 workshops now on the Google business profile, going back 4 years ago to today. So there's a lot of this to me is the best, cheapest, best ROI option you guys have as real estate agents, that if you continue to, and you might be thinking, hey, I've never done this before. I don't have any reviews. I will show you how to get more reviews. I've got a whole campaign we can talk about. I'll tell you some do's and don'ts so you don't get your account suspended to get yourself in the best spot. But the nice thing about the Google is not how many reviews you have. Of course, that does matter from a consumer lens or perspective. But if you're doing the right things and optimizing your Google profile, Things like putting stuff in the Q&A, things like responding to your reviews with keyword heavy responses. Like, it was a pleasure helping you buy in Lincoln Park, your first condo as a first time buyer. That's very keyword, loaded, but something like that will rank you and get grabbed by the Google bots to put you more, top of mind, as well as the AI, the GEO stuff too. I've seen agents with 20 reviews, 10 reviews, 30 reviews get a client or a lead over an agent with 200 reviews, because the agent with 200 reviews thinks because they have 200 reviews, they're going to be getting all this traffic, and they don't do anything else to optimize it with updates and things like that. So I'll stop beating this Google business profile, dead horse here, but everybody have that wants to schedule some time?
Mike, so we can just sign up for this. You can go over it with us.
Yeah. This is an opportunity or offer to do a one-on-one with your Google profile. What I'll do when you schedule it, before we connect and go over with you, I'll send you the digital audit that ChatGPT does, and then I'll also pick it apart myself with stuff that I've done over the years that I was, I guess, advising on before I had this custom GPT that I basically created the custom GPT to do the same stuff that I've coached on for a while.
Okay, cool.
Lisa, that's totally fine. You could take your whole database and reach out to them 10 people a week and ask them to share whatever's exciting in your life right now. Share something. Hey, I hope all is well. Was thinking about you, and this is what's going on in my life. What's going on in your life? How's the house? How's the family? Whatever. Hey, would you do me a big favor? I thought you might want to share your experience when we worked together with the online world. I'm also, putting more time and effort into my online resume. Would you mind sharing? And you can put your link in there. Or maybe they've given you a review on a different site, Lisa, like experience.com or Zillow or something like that. And you can take those reviews. Like I did. So I have, I don't know, this is not, for those that know me, I'm never bragging about this stuff. This is just objectively the details of my situation. I have over 300 reviews on Zillow, and I've had 300 reviews on Zillow since like 2013, 2014. I've received nothing of value from Zillow for all those reviews as it pertains to a buyer finding me and reaching out to me to work with me on Zillow. Obviously, it helps if I'm like co-marketing with an agent on Zillow, which I'm not a huge fan of, but that's a different story. I took all those reviews off of Zillow and then sent individual emails to people when I was building up my Google business profile in 2013 or whatever it was, and was like, hey, hope all is well. I think I got a puppy at the time. Just got a puppy, thought I'd share a picture. You soften them up a little bit, humanize things. Also, you guys have a better as it pertains to being closer to your clients than I do as a mortgage lender. So you might not need to soften them up with, I just got a puppy or whatever. You know these people well, you go out with them, you see houses with them, you you drive the car with them. So it might not need to be as, kind of, I don't want to say salesy, but like a hook, like a puppy. You could just reach out to them and copy the review from Zillow and say, hey, I'm building my Google business profile and would love if you could, just copy and paste this, for me into with the link below. Takes them 2 seconds to do. They've already written the review. Might take you, I don't know, a minute to put that email together, a minute and a half, and you're copying and pasting, but that's much more valuable, and you'll get a lot more ROI or a response rate with a personal email to somebody with their review already in there. One thing about the review thing, I don't like all the automation that goes into reviews. So if you're asking for a review, don't set up some system that sends them a text after closing that says, hey, how do we do? Can you give me a review? They're like, oh, there's that annoying text from, Maggie again about the review that she couldn't even personally ask me over the phone or in person at closing or whatever. You're asking them to spend time to support your business. Spend time asking them to do that. And you'll have a much better response. In case you're not aware, for those that don't work with me or just don't know my process inside and out, I have a post-closing call with every single client, and they have the option to do a phone call or a Zoom. Probably 60-70% do a Zoom call. I ask them before I ask for the sharing experience. Do you, a brokerage does it, and I hate that they auto send. So I used to work for another bigger mortgage company. They used experience.com. I hated that. I made them stop it because it's not organic. It's not genuine. It's a total, just like shameless plug. And you're basically asking them at the very best to click a couple buttons to get that reminder out of their way to give you a 5-star review. And they might say, hey, Lisa was great. That's not going to help you that much other than give you one more 5-star review, which is good, but it's really kind of a low bar to set for yourself from a Google profile. But on that post-closing call, the post-closing call is at their leisure. So I'm not calling them out of the blue when they're walking out of the title company or just I in a coaching program, like, hey, call your close clients on Thursdays. I'm like, in the middle of the day while they're at work, I'm like, I wouldn't want to get a call from me in the middle of the day while I'm at work about how my closing went randomly. So I let them schedule it. And then on that call, I say, hey, I go through some things. I talk about first payment, blah, blah, blah. Hey, how was that from the first day that Jeremy introduced us to today? How did my team do? Things you like, things you didn't like, any feedback at all. And before, I should also mention, at the very beginning of the process, I kind of hint towards what we're striving for here. Hey, I want this to be a 5-star experience for you guys. I work off of feedback. Most of my clients tell me that the process was easier than they expected. They received more education than they expected. Everything was amazing, but we don't know that we can be better if you don't tell us. So please think about that over the course of our time together, of our relationship. One, you're showing them you're striving for a 5-star review. Two, you're planting the seed for future ask. And three, you're reminding them that, like, hey, we work off referrals. I want to do a great job for you. This is part of what I'm, trying to do here, besides get you, into a house with a, good mortgage and all that kind of stuff from my own personal thing. So ask them how their experience was. No, Mike, everything was amazing. You guys were great. Team was awesome. Great communication. Awesome. Would you mind sharing that with the online world if I send you some links in my post closing or in my email after this? Would love to. Happy to do so. And then they write a paragraph because I've done all that kind of lead into that stuff. This script I just told you guys has taken me years to build up and establish. I used to say review all the time. Now I say share your experience, not testimonial, but experience. And I say story too, but it's more of an experience on my end. Yours is more of a story because they're getting into houses and things like that. So I'm going long-winded here as I tend to do on this. Anything else on the Google side of things? Got a couple more things if you'll stay with me. I promise they're worth it. All right, I'm going to go back to this in a second. I'm just going to give you some carrots here really quick. Next workshop, I've had more and more people asking about AI. The last one was database marketing, where we went deeper into Claude versus the other AI systems. This is going to be August or July 21st, I should say, 10 a.m. I don't have the registration link for the page available, but if you want to mark your calendars, you'll of course get the invites in the near future. And just mark your calendars, 7/21, July 21st, 10 a.m. It's a Tuesday, I believe. I tried switching the days up. I've had a couple people that are regulars on these things tell me that the Wednesday's not working for them. So I'm going to do Tuesday at 10 a.m. Because the car golf outing, for those that don't know, is Thursday, the 23rd. And I didn't want to do it on that day because I'm playing in it, and we'll see you guys. So, well, you got a new email. I'll grab that now. And then for those that want to celebrate with us tomorrow, I'll put in the chat really quick. We have a very brief 15-minute panel. Some people know Riz Galani or maybe Scott Curcio. I don't know who Melissa Young is, but those are our three speakers on the panel. If you're into our Power Hour, people love those. Let me get you the link right now. I'm sorry, that's tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Minor detail. Tomorrow at 4 o'clock at our event space, the She Shed. It's basically a happy hour party, whatever you want to call it. But let me put the link in here really quick if you guys want to click on that. We have a bartender, all that kind of fun stuff. There's a link to RSVP. I'll give you guys a minute on that. Link is in the chat. I'll change the slide. All right, I'll be here for as long as you guys want me to be here. Again, recording, slides, and the AI content systems coming your way. Who wants to share one of their key takeaways here or ask questions?
I love the Reddit thing. I'm gonna try to go comment on the local spaces and see how that plays out. I've heard a lot of things about Reddit and have never dipped my toes in it, but I use it to find local restaurants and stuff, so definitely gonna try it.
Make sure you say something nice about me since you're, while you're at it, Tyler.
The best lender in the world.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And everybody knows you don't lie, so that's perfect. Anybody else? Takeaways, aha moments, questions in general?
The presentation mentioned LinkedIn a few times, and it's a good reminder. I've been hearing for a couple of years how much we're sleeping on LinkedIn and how important it is to be part of the marketing mix kind of thing for social.
I agree. Sorry, let me just say thank you to everybody in the chat. I personally am really bad with social media, so I'm a little bit of a hypocrite, I think, because I teach these workshops and I know what to do. I just don't have the time. I'm working towards it, right? We're all at different places. We're all pushing to be better and better every day. At least I hope so. But I just take my Instagram posts and I just throw it on LinkedIn, and it's definitely not LinkedIn friendly. But I'm like, hey, it's better than nothing, right? What you can do is you can take that and put it in a Claude or ChatGPT and say, hey, take this Instagram reel caption and convert it into a more LinkedIn friendly post. And just that little bit of a tweak might get you some more traction. But I've always said LinkedIn sucks, and I don't know why I've said that, because it's really great and there's a lot of gold there. You're also getting in front of a lot of professionals. If you want to go down like the hierarchy of where home buyers might be at and or professionals, LinkedIn's going to be at the top. On the opposite side is like TikTok. I think 25% of people on TikTok make over 100 grand. Everybody else makes less than 100 grand on TikTok. That's a staggering statistic. Not many people that make less than 100 grand can buy houses in Chicago. So think about where your market's at and spend time there. Yeah, TikTok's fun and all, but if people only make 75 grand a year, they probably can't buy too many houses. That's what you're looking for them to do. So it is, kids. Yep, exactly, Lisa.
I think just knowing for me, the Reddit thing was super helpful, but also in my use of AI is mostly ChatGPT, and that Claude and Gemini I need to start incorporating more. And just if those are like the top top AI sources right now.
Yep. I don't even think I mentioned really what this is. So it says obviously Claude AI crash course. This is basically Maggie Butsky asked, and I'm answering her question with this. So, and I think if Rana's still on here. So yeah, so this is a deep dive into all things Claude. There's two versions I've got to consider. There's one that's like a really deep dive and really technical. There's more of like a lighter, higher level one. I'll probably do the lighter, higher level one to start. But this is going to be ripping apart all things Claude. And Claude has really made a huge splash in the last, I want to say 3 months or so. It's valued higher than OpenAI, who created ChatGPT. You got to pay for tokens. They can be used up pretty quickly. There's peak hours. There's non-peak hours. Claude's really great because you can create projects and then you can reuse those. Like when I reply to my Google reviews, for those that don't know, you can do this. I built a widget with Claude that I say the person's name, if they're a real estate agent, if they're an attorney, if they're a first-time buyer or a client. And then I ask it, I put the copy and paste their review in there, and I tell it to put SEO and GEO words in there. And it's either light or heavy or in the middle. And it gives me a review. I look at that, or a response, I should say. I look at that, I tweak it, and then I type it into or copy and paste it into my Google profile. And I reply to the reviews, like 2-3 paragraphs that also echo my brand, big on communication, big on education. I treat my clients like I want to be treated. That stuff gets sprinkled in there. And I also, when I built this project, to give you an example, I told Claude, I want every single review response to be different and never look like it's written by AI. So I'm telling it like, hey, this is supposed to be from me, Mike Del Preto, mortgage advisor, SVP mortgage lending, blah, blah, blah. I give it all my branding stuff. And I'll talk about more of this on the thing, but you can put content into the projects for Claude. So what did I put in there? My home buyer roadmap, different posts I've had, my newsletters, the last 6 newsletters I've written. I'm like, this is my voice. This is how I talk. This is what I've done. Also, Claude, look at all the reviews people have written about me to learn how I handle my business. And by doing so, it has that kind of data set to use and build on for these reviews as we respond to them with keywords. And that's a big difference with getting people to call you and pick up the phone and get found on Google, that Claude can help you with, automation wise. Anything else? Questions? Ahas? Is everybody committed to doing the work? I'll give you guys a nice accountability check right here. I do think it's just natural. I mean, it's kind of happening already. Spring market burnout is for very much a thing. I'm personally, I've got 2 small kids at home, so I'm dealing with it even more so because I haven't slept in the night in months. But I think between now and 4th of July, if you can challenge yourself to work every day and not go, hey, summer's here, let's go have some fun. Obviously have some fun, but try to really put pen to paper, nose to grindstone kind of thing, and build this stuff out with some automation involved so that you're really hitting the ground running by 4th of July. And then just see the system work in terms of the content system. So yours is in place. And if you do that for July and August, I promise you'll see a much, much, much better September, October, November fall market for yourself. And I think a lot of agents right now, with a busy spring market, it's still relatively busy, are burnt out and like, hey, I had a good spring. That was great. It was better than the last couple of years. So what? There's a lot of people that still need to buy and sell houses. The recent uptick in interest rates from the war definitely put a little bit of a damper on things. There's still that pent up demand. I'm not going to talk about the peace deal and what's going on overseas. We'll see what happens with the Fed's meeting today and tomorrow. I'm not going to promise lower interest rates in the near future, but they're trending in the right direction. And people that are out there looking to buy or sell definitely need us. And I think this business is going to be more top loaded than it's ever been, like a lot of industries, in the next 3 to 5 years. Meaning that 90% of the business is going to be done by the top 10% to some degree, something along those lines. So get yourself to the top 10%. Doesn't mean if you top 10% of volume, top 10% in terms of active and doing the things we're talking about from a digital footprint perspective. And you will, even if you're starting from scratch right now, you'll be heads and shoulders above your competition. That's either depending on a old Google profile that was built up in the teens and the early 2020, 2021, or someone that's just new and like, oh, I could just be nice and smile at people and go to open houses and meet people at bars and I'm going to be successful. That stuff's helpful. It's only a small piece now, and people aren't going to ever find you because they're starting online. Or you might meet someone at a happy hour that's already vested with somebody they found on ChatGPT that they trust more because you're just some friend they met drinking and the other person's an established real estate agent. So, anything else, guys, before I let you run? All right, thanks for spending some time with me. I'll get you the recording.
Thanks, Mike.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Obviously, any buyers I can help with, let me know. But have a great day.
Thanks, Mike.
Too.
All right. See ya. Bye.